Tonight, Hollywood's most elite and fashionable will be gathering on the steps of the Metropolitan Museum of Art for the Met Gala. My favorite night of the year, Sam.
It's a big deal, and this year feels a little bit more substantive to me. So this year's theme is, quote, superfine tailoring, black style. It is a celebration of black dandyism. So here to talk all about what black dandyism is and its place in history is our 9 News race and culture expert, Dr. Rosemarie Allen. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
I am so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm glad that you're going to speak on it. So first, what is dandyism, and more specifically, black dandyism?
Well, let's start with the history.
Yes.
When you look back at slavery, black bodies were controlled. We know that, but we don't think about how they were controlled in terms of their clothing. They were mandated to wear certain clothing so that they would be seen that status of property rather than people. And then post-emancipation, there were still laws that dictated what black people could wear. For example, in South Carolina, there was a law called the Negro Act that said you must not dress above your station.
Wow.
In Louisiana, because of the ornate ways that black women wore their hair, they were mandated to cover their hair up with a scarf.
Wow.
And dandyism, even during enslavement, very wealthy white, especially British white masters, they would dress their slaves up as a status of their own wealth.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, yes.
So I want to dive a little bit deeper into that and talk about kind of the history. You just kind of talked about a lot of the history of what they were looking like, but even as far as what type of fabrics they're able to use, and you talked a little bit about styling hair, but going a little bit more into that as well.
Yes, I mean, it was really used as a form of oppression. That you wore burlap, you wore very, very muted colors. You did not dress better than white women because that was that superiority. And those colors, the fabric, the styles, they were really used to keep black people in that place of subjugation.
Yeah. It's important that we know this, right?
Yes.
Know your history, so I'm so glad that you're touching on this. How has it evolved? How did black dandyism evolve past those laws?
Well, you know, black fashion became a form of resistance, a powerful tool of resistance and self-expression. So post-emancipation, African Americans began to dress very flamboyantly, lots of color, lace, buckles, amazing shoes, and it really flourished during the Harlem Renaissance. And then during the 1930s and 40s, the zoot suits came about, those oversized, very brilliant suits that we saw with Cap Calloway and Malcolm X during those periods.
How would you say dandyism is reflected in today's fashion? For me, a style icon for dandyism I see as like Janelle Monáe comes to mind.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm wearing my dandy pants.
Yes,
today.
you are.
You know, black fashion, it sets the tone for fashion. And when you look at everyone across the spectrum, to anything that Oprah wears, to what Kendrick Lamar wears, to and everything in between, it has become and evolved into this powerful expression of self-determination, authenticity, not only the clothing, but with the hair that is worn. And sometimes it's very frightening for people. That's why we have the Crown Act in 13 states that says you cannot discriminate against black people because of the way they wear
That's new.
Right.
hair.
When you think about that,
very new.
Way overdue.
Way
overdue.
And when you look at dress codes in schools, they target the dress mainly of African Americans.
Right.
They call it distracting. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight.
I know we're almost out of time, which is such a bummer because there we go. My girl, we could talk about this all day. What are is there one thing in particular you're maybe thinking we'll see trend-wise?
I think we're going to see capes and hats and brooches and jewelry and shoes, and very colorful and lots of patterns.
I love it. Fantastic. Dr. Allen, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. What a fun topic.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, Met Gala is tonight in New York. We're going to be recapping.
We'll be watching closely.
I will be recapping the biggest moments, all the best looks tomorrow morning right here on 9 News. And we really hope that you tune in. Dr. Allen, again, thank you so much.